Well, hello again, everybody. Thanks again for stopping in to check out my little Facebook blog here. Today, what I want to talk to you about is isolation. Now, you've heard this old phrase, thinking outside the box, which is very popular with people. But today, I want to talk to you about living outside of the box. Living outside of the box. I got a couple of little illustrations here I want to show you. This is you. And if you think that you're the only person in the world with the only thoughts that matter, the only opinions that matter, and there's absolutely nothing outside of this, that's what I want to talk about. And for future illustrations, see this right here, X. U equals X. All right, so if you live in that kind of a box, all right, where the whole world not only revolves around you, but is you, I call that pathological isolation. You've heard of pathological lying. Pathological liars are people that not only tell lies, but they believe their lies. They believe them to be the reality. People who live in pathological isolation really truly believe that their little tiny world is in fact the entire world. And part of this, of course, is denial. And we deny what? We deny what we're afraid of. So it comes from fear. And when we are confronted by other people who live in other kinds of boxes and spheres and realities, then that comes as a challenge and we don't know how to deal with it. And this is really the cause, you see, at least I think, the cause of severe division. And we see this played out all around us. Popularly today, we see it like Republicans and Democrats. There's no interaction between the two other than hurling insults and criticizing each other. We see it in the religious world, Christians, Muslims, judging each other, not trusting each other. This is all because we live in our own little world and refuse to engage anything or anybody other than ourselves. So, what do we have to do? Well, I think we have to kind of change our mindset to show something more like this, where there's you or me, there's you, signified by this little X, but we have to realize and at least understand that there's all these other people, all these other things in the world, and I put them like not X. X is you, or if I'm thinking about myself, me, and all these other things are not X, people that are not like me. So the trick is, you see, if we want to live at least in harmony with some people, with somebody, then we have to recognize them. And we have to force exposure to the unknown. We have to get out of our shells. We have to live outside of our own little boxes. How do we do that? Well, some suggestions, of course. Number one is to engage the different. Now, this can be something very simple like going to Barnes & Noble or any bookstore and go to the magazine rack and go and pick something out that you wouldn't in a million years consider reading. Let's say you're a dog person, as am I. Go and pick up a copy of Cat Fancier or something like that and read about cats. Let's say that you're into woodworking. Pick up a magazine about crocheting, for example. Check it out. It's a different world. It's a different box. And if you at least make an attempt to do something different, it shakes this up. It shakes up your brain. It shakes up your heart. It shakes everything up about you and say, wow, I guess I'm not the only person in the world. I guess my likes and my interests are not the only likes and interests in the world. Try different things. At least if you don't like them, you know you've tried them and you know why you don't like them. A couple examples in my life is I tried martial arts one time. I thought I might like it. I hated it with a passion. So am I going to do it again? No. But I know that world exists and I have some appreciation for it. My latest, of course, is yoga. My wife, my daughter, all these people I know are into yoga. You should do yoga. I tried it. And believe me, I hated every single minute of it. But I gave it an honest shake. And I know that that world exists. So that's number one. Really, really try to engage the different. Number two, travel. Travel. You might say, well, hey, listen, I don't have the means to travel. I don't have the means to go to Europe. I don't have the means to go to Norway. I don't have the means to drive or to fly to Uruguay, anything at all like that. I don't have the means to do that. Listen, I understand. But that's not all that travel is. Get in your car. Go to some place close. Go to some little town, some little place. Go out in the countryside, someplace, even though you live close to that, you've never been to. Go check it out. Get it out of your car. Walk around. Talk to a few folks. I know people who live maybe 10, 15 miles outside the city of Pittsburgh their whole life and have never, ever gone downtown Pittsburgh because why? They are afraid. Travel. Number 3, this is perhaps the most important, and it is to talk to people. Talk to somebody who's going to be very different from yourself. If you're a Democrat, find a Republican and sit down and don't shout and yell and curse at each other. Talk to each other. Find out what the differences of opinion are. If you're a Christian, as am I, and you don't know anything about Muslims other than the fact that you might have some kind of bias against them, find a Muslim somewhere. Believe me, they're everywhere. All right, there's Muslim communities all over our nation. Find somebody, sit down, have a cup of coffee together, whatever, share, understand. But not with the intention of trying to convert the other person or trying to sway the other person to your point of view. You're not inviting them to become a convert to your world. You just want to find out about their world and learn how the two of you can mesh together. Talk. The big thing of these days is about immigration. Find an immigrant. Sit down and talk to an immigrant. Ask them what their experiences are. And who knows? You might change your opinion, or you might at least modify it a little bit. It's really difficult to hate people that you know and have talked to. So if you want to just recognize that there's another world or other worlds outside of your own, engage the different, travel, and talk. Okay, here's another example. And this is an equation. Some of you might take you back to your old algebra days, whatever. And let's look at it this way. If this whole page is the universe, here's you. We've talked about that already. X. Everything else, everybody else, every other entity in the world is not X. So here's the equation. X plus not X equals 1. You plus everybody else in the world, me plus everybody else in the world equals 1. There's all of us want to talk about peace. We all want to talk about unity. We always want to talk about being one with each other and so forth. Well, yeah, it's not only possible, it's indeed very practical. It's doable if we would get out of our own sense of world, which is our own self. You got to live outside the box, and that's what I'm encouraging you to do today. Do something different. Talk to somebody different. Get outside your box. Expand your horizons. So again, thanks for coming by. And I want to show you just one more thing. All right, just one more. Here it is. Yeah, that's right. Like and share my page because I really, really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.